My friends across the Western Pacific, and specifically here across Tokyo and the Izu Islands, we have Mindulle, which is approaching, and this is still a dangerous storm system, albeit it has weakened. A little bit of shear is starting to interact with it, so we're starting to see kind of that displacement from the center of circulation with those upper level cirrus clouds to the north and east. But I mean, you just look at the satellite imagery. This storm system still potent, plenty of convection on the western periphery of it. You still have that outflow aloft towards the north despite that shear, and it's still remaining with that decent eye. Actually went through an eye wall replacement cycles. Now it's got that big donut eye in it. But there are a few things you want to note here. A little of the dry air start to filter in from the south. So overall, a potent storm system, but it is weakening, all thanks to this upper level trough. You can kind of see the clouds right there moving in from the west. One thing I do want to note, this came very close to being named by the Philippines. You remember, there's this magical line here. According to Bagasa, if it enters that, they name it. I think this one was Lani? Anyways, it didn't get named, thankfully, because I think that would have just caused more of a mess than what would be needed, because people in the Philippines would have panicked when obviously our storm system is back here towards the north, passing by Japan as we go ahead through Friday. 9 a.m. Friday, be right about there, just towards the south of Hachijo, out here in the Izu Islands. And then it's going to be skirting by Friday afternoon and the evening there across parts of Chiba Prefecture. I think they're going to be seeing some pretty decent rainfall out of this as well. So definitely few impacts as our storm system continues to roll off here towards the north. So let's go hour by hour, break down your forecast for you out here if you are on the Izu Islands. So let's zoom right in. Well, naturally, I have Tokyo right there. Yokosuka's right about there. You got Chiba, you got Oshima, Niijima, Miyakejima, Kozushima, and Hachijo. I've been to about every single one of those islands. That's why I know it. That's why I know each one by name here. One thing I do want to remember in 2013 we had a very similar storm in Oshima. That's the biggest of ones, O being large in Japanese. There was a very significant landslide there. So anytime a storm system passes by here, you know, you got about 20,000 people living out in these islands. I don't like to call it a fish storm because people are still going to be impacted even though it's not making landfall in Honshu. So they're going to be seeing this starting early Friday morning. Throughout the day on Friday, especially through the morning hours, you got Tokyo Bay, those winds going to be whipping up it. So for those of our friends in Yokosuka, from Yokohama down through Yokosuka, yeah, you got those onshore winds that are going to be coming in through the bay. I think it's going to be not nasty, but it ain't going to be pleasant out there through most of Friday morning. By the afternoon and the evening, our threat level really starts to change over towards Chiba as well, and extending up through Tohoku. These areas in here could be seeing about 100 to 200 millimeters of total rainfall as that storm system pulls towards the north and east. And then as we go ahead into Friday evening through Saturday, some vastly dry air is going to be starting to filter in behind this storm system as it moves off towards the north and east as well. Do want to show you kind of the atmospheric moisture on top of that. And this is our storm system with the model forecast as it whips off towards the north and east. That dry air coming behind it with that upper level trough. And overall, we're just keeping an eye back towards the south with that easterly flow that's continuing to push through too. On top of that, for our next possible tropical system, of course, that moisture coming in across the Philippines. But here's your SPAGHETTIOS with that moving towards the north and east. And here's that potential for a system maybe next week down there towards the Philippines. Some of the SPAGHETTIOS popping up there as well. Just wanted to quickly show that to you guys. Let's get back to our storm system and kind of the local forecast out here across Japan with that heavier rainfall back here towards Tokyo along the coast of Chiba Prefecture. Actually, according to Japan Meteorological Agency, 1 to 200 millimeters. You can see over 100 km/h winds too. Metro Tokyo's forecast, obviously Friday's a messy day. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it does start to clear out pretty nicely. Also keep in mind for the waves, according to JMA, you could see some areas as high as 8-meter high waves along the coastline of Honshu, maybe 10 to 11 meters, obviously into the Izu Islands because, you know, there's a typhoon. So not good swimming weather. How about that? Let's just leave it at that. You don't have to remind people that there's going to be big waves, albeit it seems like every single one of these storms, you know, you get some people that want to go out there and take some photos and they just don't take the proper precautions and they end up getting hurt or worse, killed. I'll never forget the several airmen who were killed down there in Okinawa. They were taking photos of a storm system. Must have been 2012, 2013. They were just along the coast and, you know, the storm was a couple hundred miles offshore. wasn't really a threat, but they got washed out to sea, and that was such a tragic situation. So always be smart, always be careful if you want to go out and observe one of these storm systems. As always, though, stay safe out there. I think that's a good time to leave it at that. If you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know down in the comment box below. Big thing, if you do like these updates, be sure to help us out on Patreon. I say it all the time. I have a link down below. All these legendary people already help us out, and you guys are heroes in my book. Stay safe out there, and thanks for watching.